I'm going to be honest with you. I do not consider myself a good Orthodox because to me, good Orthodox means you show up for service every Sunday, every feast day, and I'm the greatest of sinners. I've had a problem with this. Now, when I came into Orthodoxy 12, 13, 14 years ago, I was at every service. Started with, Vespers on Saturday night, get up, make it for Orthos Matins before Divine Liturgy. Every service that the church held, I was there. And I don't know what happened. It's not like I didn't enjoy it, that I didn't get anything out of it. I didn't think it was important. I just stopped. So I was wondering if it's just me, or do other converts go through this experience? So I did some research and I thought I'd do a video about it. And here goes, and I hope you enjoy. Please, in the comment section, let me know if you've experienced the same kind of burnout that I have. So let's get to it. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, the Eastern Orthodox Church has attracted an increasing number of converts, particularly within North America and Western Europe. These converts have come from a wide range of backgrounds: Roman Catholic, which was me; Evangelical Protestant, which was Melody; mainline Protestant; and explicitly secular. Their arrival has often been marked by intellectual seriousness, liturgical enthusiasm, and a strong attraction to Orthodoxy's historical continuity and theological coherence. Yet, alongside this growth has emerged a quieter and less frequently examined phenomena: a significant degree of attrition among converts, often occurring several years after reception into the church. Clergy, parish communities, and former converts themselves have observed a recurring pattern, one in which initial zeal gives way to spiritual exhaustion, disillusionment, or disengagement. This pattern raises an important question for pastoral theology and the sociology of religion alike. Why does a tradition so deeply shaped by ascetic patience, gradual formation, and therapeutic anthropology appear to generate burnout among some of its most ardent adherents? The argument that I'm going to present here is that convert burnout does not arise from orthodoxy itself, but from the interaction between modern modes of identity formation, inherited religious expectation, and insufficiently articulated pastoral frameworks for long-term integration. At the center of this interaction lies a spiritual imbalance long recognized within the Christian tradition: zeal untempered by patience. For those raised within Orthodox Christian families, the faith is ordinarily received incrementally. Liturgical participation, fasting practices, devotional habits, and ecclesial identity are acquired gradually, often without explicit instruction. Orthodoxy, in this sense, functions as a way of life inherited before it is consciously chosen. For converts, however, entry into orthodoxy is typically experienced as a decisive rupture. Conversion entails not only the adoption of new theological commitments, but also the abandonment or reconfiguration of prior religious identities. Sociologically, such a transition involves the reconstruction of meaning, belonging, and moral orientation. In modern Western societies where identity is frequently constructed through deliberate choice rather than inheritance, conversion tends to assume an intensified character. Orthodoxy is approached not simply as a church to attend, but as a comprehensive framework capable of resolving theological ambiguity, moral instability, and cultural fragmentation. While this expectation explains much of Orthodoxy's appeal, it also introduces a latent vulnerability. When orthodoxy is imagined as a stabilizing resolution rather than a lifelong process of healing, the inevitably of struggle can be experienced as failure rather than formation. Orthodoxy's appeal to modern seekers is not accidental. It offers a constellation of features largely absent from contemporary religious landscape: doctrinal continuity, sacramental depth, ascetical discipline, and resistance to ideological volatility. For many converts, Orthodox represents a recovery of permanence in a culture defined by transience. Yet this very solidity can foster idealization. Converts may expect orthodoxy to provide clarity without ambiguity, sanctity without conflict, and tradition without tension. When these expectations encounter the realities of parish life, human weakness, administrative limitations, interpersonal conflict, the dissonance can be profound. Rather than recognizing struggle as intrinsic to spiritual growth, converts may interpret it as evidence of personal inadequacy or ecclesial inconsistency. The result is often not rebellion, but fatigue. Within the ascetical tradition of the Church, zeal has always been regarded as a double edged disposition. The Fathers consistently praise spiritual fervor while warning against its dangers when ungoverned by discernment. Patristic literature repeatedly emphasizes that spiritual maturity unfolds slowly. Progress is measured not by intensity, but by endurance, not by accumulation of practices, but by stability of repentance. The expectation of gradual transformation is woven into Orthodox anthropology itself. Modern converts, however, frequently approach orthodoxy with habits formed in environments that reward rapid mastery, visible progress, and measurable outcomes. Spiritual practices, fasting rules, prayer schedules, theological study are sometimes adopted wholesale and simultaneously without sufficient attention to sustainability. When such rigor proves impossible to maintain, the enduring collapse can be misinterpreted as spiritual failure rather than predictable exhaustion. A further contributing factor lies in the modern tendency to externalize identity. In digital spaces, especially, orthodoxy can be framed as a cultural or ideological position rather than a therapeutic path. Converts may come to associate faithfulness with visibility, public correctness, polemical clarity, or symbolic alignment. This phenomena shifts attention away from repentance towards representation. Orthodoxy becomes something one defends before it becomes something one lives. Over time, the disjunction between external performance and internal transformation can erode spiritual coherence. When faith is sustained primarily through intensity rather than rootedness, burnout becomes likely. Beyond individual disposition, structural factors within parish life also play a role. Catechetical programs often emphasize doctrinal accuracy and historical explanation, both of which are essential, yet they frequently lack sustained guidance in the rhythms of ordinary spiritual life: how to pray consistently, how to fast prudently, how to endure periods of dryness without despair. Parish cultures shaped by cradle Orthodox assumptions may unintentionally leave converts uncertain about unspoken norms. Without models of gradual integration, converts may compensate through excessive rigor. Clergy, often responsible for multiple communities and limited resources, may be unable to provide the sustained spiritual direction that converts require during their formative years. The absence of regular guidance does not cause burnout directly, but it removes a stabilizing influence. Burnout among converts tends to follow a recognizable trajectory. An initial period of enthusiasm is followed by increasing ascetical demands, self imposed expectations, and comparison with perceived ideals. Disillusionment often emerges not from doctrinal doubt, but from unmet expectations regarding spiritual progress or communal life. Withdrawal may follow, either quietly or accompanied by reactionary critique. Importantly, such withdrawal is frequently misinterpreted as loss of faith, when it more accurately reflects exhaustion. Addressing convert burnout requires neither the dilution of Orthodox tradition nor the suppression of zeal. Rather, it requires a recalibration of tempo and expectation. Clergy can play a decisive role by explicitly normalizing slow spiritual growth, limiting ascetical rigor in the early years, and redirecting attention from external correctness towards interior repentance. Parish communities can foster stability by modeling ordinary faithfulness rather than exceptional intensity. Converts themselves benefit from embracing limitation, resisting comparison, and accepting that imperfection, both personal and communal, is not a contradiction of orthodoxy, but its field of operation. From the earliest centuries, the Church has measured faithfulness not by enthusiasm, but by perseverance. The Orthodox spiritual life assumes seasons of fervor and dryness alike, viewing both as pedagogical. A convert who remains within the Church through decades of imperfect prayer, ordinary participation, and repeated repentance embodies the very stability Orthodoxy seeks to cultivate. Burnout, then, is not a refutation of Orthodoxy claims, but an invitation to recover its temporal wisdom. The phenomena of convert burnout reflects a broader tension between modern habits of immediacy and the Church's pedagogy of patience. Orthodoxy offers not resolution without struggle, but healing through sustained participation. His zeal is guided by patience, enthusiasm by humility, and identity by repentance. The initial fire of conversion need not extinguish itself. Instead, It may mature into something quieter, steadier, and more enduring. Precisely the form of faith that Orthodox tradition has always regarded as its highest expectation. I'm really hoping this video gets a lot of views. And if it doesn't get a lot of views, it would be really great if we could have conversations, explain our situations. Are you a convert that has gone through this? How did you handle this? We could have some really interesting conversations if people start putting things into the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. So, the usual stuff: subscribe, thumbs up, notification bell, comment, all that kind of stuff that every creator asks for. And doing the research on this, I'm actually feeling a little better. I started out by saying what a terrible Orthodox Christian I am, that I've lost that zeal. And I'm feeling a little better about it now. And if you're in the same type of situation, hope you see the cause is not lost. Thank you for watching, and have yourself a blessed day.